Hey guys, Xenith here. So today I'm going to be doing a motherboard upgrade on my computer, along with a fan upgrade, which I'm very excited for, but I'll get into that in a bit. So this new motherboard right here is a Asus Proart B550 Creator. It's a really awesome motherboard, and out of all the motherboards I looked at, I spent hours and hours and hours looking at these. And this was actually one of the first ones I thought I would get, and it turns out that this was in fact the best option for me. So, yeah, massive waste of time because I could have just bought this in the first place, but here we are. So, this motherboard, well, I'll first start off with why I'm upgrading. So, currently I've got a B450 Tomahawk Max, and you might be wondering, wait, you're upgrading from an AM4 board to another AM4 board, and yes I am, because I don't really want to spend hundreds upon hundreds on a new CPU, DDR5 RAM and stuff when my 5800X3D is perfectly fine, and I'm willing to use that CPU for a very long time. I have no intention of getting a new CPU. And if you know me, you know that I like to buy things and keep them going for a very long time. Like my first PC build, my 4670K i5, and my GTX 772 gigabytes. I got that thing. That thing lasted for a long time. It was 5 years before I upgraded the GPU, and 7 years before I upgraded the CPU. So I can keep these things going for a long time, and I can work with these things. So yeah, new motherboard. So what's better about this motherboard compared to my current one? So for starters, the biggest reason why I'm upgrading to this is because it has PCIe 4. My current one has PCIe 3 because it is a B450, and the chipset runs at PCIe 2 on B450. On this one, from the CPU it is PCIe 4, and on the chipset it is PCIe 3, so I'm getting a pretty massive improvement in bandwidth for my PCI slots, and obviously my SSD slots as well. Like this SSD slot at the top, this one runs at 4 lanes of PCIe 4, which means it can go up to 8 gigabytes per second, which is more than I'm going to need for sure. This second NVMe slot down here, though, unfortunately this runs at, I believe, PCI 3.0 X4, so that's only 4 gigabytes per second, and it shares bandwidth with the X1 slots here, which I plan on using both of them. So if I use these, this gets shut down to 2 lanes, which means 2 gigabytes per second. So I'm probably not going to be using this for very long, and the plan is to get a card to put into this X8 slot right here, X16 length, but you can see it only has X8 lanes. So another thing about these is that this port, this X16 slot and this X8 slot, they both share bandwidth. They both share 16 lanes between them. So if I put something into here, this gets knocked down to 8 lanes, so that this can have 8 lanes. If there's nothing in this one runs at 16. But the thing is, it's PCIe 4, so it doesn't matter. My graphics card runs perfectly fine at the moment on PCIe 3.0 X16. And running this on PCIe 4.0 X8 is going to be exactly the same bandwidth, so it's not a problem. So other than that, there is also a Thunderbolt 4 in this. Let me show the camera. So you can see down here, there are Thunderbolt 4 ports. There's one right there and another one right there. So these Thunderbolt 4 ports, they share bandwidth with this X16 slot length slot here, which is actually an X4. I believe this is PCIe 3. Which is interesting because I wouldn't imagine that it has that much bandwidth for Thunderbolt 4, but who knows. I don't know if both Thunderbolt ports get 40 gigabits between them, or if they just have if they just split the 40 gigabytes between them, or if they have 40 gigabytes each. Who knows? But yeah, before I forget, I'm gonna just take this off. Actually, I'll take that off. I'll take it off now because I'm exactly the kind of person who forgets to take those off. So yeah, my camera that I'm using right now, it doesn't have much in terms of battery life, so I won't be filming the whole thing. But I'll jump in and I'll obviously keep another battery charging while I'm at it. And so onto the fans. So I'll just grab my computer and put it on the table, and I'll just show you around the current stuff, and I'll just see you in a bit. Whoosh. So this is my computer at the moment. You can see there is a you know, there's a Noctua fan in here. So I was going to talk about the fans. Also, I'll just talk about the capture cards first though. So these are two capture cards here. The top one here is an Elgato HD 60 Pro, and the other one is a 4K 60 Pro. And one of the problems that I've had is that the 4K 60 Pro is an X4 card, and if you look here, I'm planning on having SSDs in this X8 slot, and obviously I can't use this one because I'll lose Thunderbolt. So I've got a little bit of a solution, which is a bit dodgy. So this is an alternative to a much worse solution. So this is a dodgy PCIe riser cable, which I got. But the reason why I got this is because it has a gap at the end of the slot, so I can put in bigger cards. So this is an X1 slot, but it will fit an X4 card. Well, it'll fit a card of any size because there's nothing stopping you putting one in there. Unlike on these, where you see there is a gap at the end, so I cannot physically fit an X4 card in there without chopping that end off. So yeah. And you might be wondering, why bandwidth? What's the problem? So you might be also thinking, why haven't I put this card in the bottom slot? I was actually doing a test, and I put this card into the top slot right below my graphics card, because if you put it in this slot, it lowers the bandwidth of this one to PCIe 2.0 x2. And I was doing that to test out to see if it would work on 1 GB per second, which is what those X1 slots will run at. So it should work perfectly fine, unless there's like power problems, but I doubt it. It should be perfectly fine. But yeah, that is the whole situation here. So don't judge me for having these there, that's intentional. So anyways, the Noctua fans here. I've got one in my computer right now. Here I've got some rubbish old PC Specialist fan, which I stole from my mum's PC. And in the front, this is a Cooler Master Storm Enforcer case, by the way. It's got a 200mm fan. This thing is ancient, it's from like 2011, but I'm pretty sure I got it in 2013. But yeah, the 200mm fan was the selling point back then, and I love these things, they're awesome. Also the hard drive cage will be taken out, I'll be taking that out, and I'll be probably removing this hard drive entirely, and I will be putting my backup hard drive, which you can see right, oh, well, you can see it right there. I'll be putting that hard drive inside of my computer now, which will be very nice. And it'll be going in these slots down here because there's, I believe, just 2 hard drive slots, and that will do me fine. I don't need all of these hard drive slots anymore because we're not living in 2013. We don't really use hard drives anymore. I want to use SSDs. But yeah, obviously, hard drives I use for my backups. And in the front, I actually have an M-disk slot. Well, I can't open the door, but there's an M-disk drive in there, which I need to get some M-disks to use for archiving stuff, but yeah. You might notice all the dust, and that's kind of the reason why I'm replacing the fans, is because it gives me an excuse to take the case completely apart and remove all of the dust, which is going to be exciting. It's not going to be fun. I've removed the cats from this room, and I'm going to give it a good hoovering before I let them back in here. So yeah, that's probably enough going on about the case and stuff. The fans, oh yeah, I'll show you the fans actually. So we've got the fan, it's a Noctua 200mm, absolutely huge, look at this, Jesus. It's got a USB cable on it because I was showing it to my dad earlier, and we've also got a 120mm one here, an S12A, which is nice. So yeah, 120mm goes in the back, 200mm goes in the front. The front will be the intake, and the 120mm will be the exhaust. I'm not entirely sure which direction this one is blowing air. I'm pretty sure it's to the left, but I'll double check that to make sure that my airflow is all nice. And you might also be wondering why I'm not putting one in the top. I think at this point putting one in the top would be more like more is less with these fans. I just want 3 fans blowing air from the front to the back, and that's perfectly fine. I don't think I need any more, especially not with this huge heat sink. It's just a waste of time and money, because these fans are like 30 quid each. These are not cheap, and this should do me perfectly fine. These things are amazing. I absolutely love Noctua fans. I put them in all my friends' computers, and their coolers are just superb. So yeah, I did get some new thermal paste as well because I didn't have any. Where did I put it? I don't know where my thermal paste has gone. But anyways, it's Arctic MX something. Oh, there it is. I don't know how it got on the floor. Huge, look at this. Jesus. Arctic MX4, I don't really think it matters that much. People get overly concerned about thermal paste, but I mean, I've been building computers for a long time and it's never really had an impact for me. But yeah, either way, that's enough. Battery's running low, so I'll see you in a bit. So this is the 200mm fan from the front of it. As you can see, it's from 2013. And yeah, whew, Jesus. I'm not even gonna bother blowing the dust off of it. I'm just gonna take it out and chuck it in the bin, and then I'll blow the dust off of all this. Just look at the dust filter though. Ugh. Horrible. Yeah, that's gonna be a pain in the ass, but it's gotta be done. And here's that disk drive I was talking about as well. Here it is. So yeah, all of this is gonna be sorted out. It's gonna be very nice, and this lovely fan will be going in its place. Let's see if it fits. It's one of the smaller 200mm fans, I guess. There it is. Beautiful. That will be a lot quieter, I imagine. So yeah, I'll do this. So I've got everything out now. As you can see, just the power supply's in there. I've got the CPU out. I know it's just a bit of thermal paste around the sides of the CPU. But you know, it's fine, just clean that off. It's working fine anyways. There's my graphics card. All of my RAM. My old sticks of RAM are mixed in here with but the Vengeance LPX is all of my 64GB that we are upgrading to recently. I already had that in my PC though. So here it is, and also the capture cards and the cooler are both down here. Here it is. Oh, it's all the dust in the cooler. Not too bad to be honest. It's pretty good. And the capture cards. We've got the 4K 60 Pro and the HD 60 Pro. Very nice. So I'm gonna completely de-dust this computer, get another good look at it. You can see all the dust. And yeah, hopefully my can of compressed air will be able to get all of it out. It won't be perfect, but you know, it will be de-dusted enough to be running at perfect efficiency, I suppose. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Ooh. Alright, well, let's try it. Alright, no, bad idea. Okay, we'll just have to do this manually. There it is. Ugh. Well, you can see through it now at least, which is good. You see the state of my hands. Like, look at this rag. It's already just, ugh, horrible. And we haven't even bothered starting on this yet, so let's get to it. I could probably do with a mask. Oh, it just gets all over the place. That's probably good enough. I'll give the front a little bit of a clean with a few wipes, and that'll do. Okay, quite a big cut here, but I have mostly cleaned out the case. I did in fact take out the power supply and clean the filter underneath, which is now nice and clean. It works very similarly to the one on the front of this, which has been nicely cleaned. I don't know if I took a video or just a picture, but yes, it's all nicely cleaned, and it's fitted back in here. One of the problems of having such an old case is it has these horrible old things, but you know, it's something I'm willing to put up with because I do prefer these older cases to the new ones. So now we have this old motherboard which now has nothing on it. There's nothing plugged into it, no CPU, no RAM or anything, it's all just there. Actually, while I'm at it, I should probably put the M2 thumb screw back on it just before I forget. We don't want to lose that. So, the new board, I've got the CPU in there, and the cooler bracket for my NHD15. It's all very nice and on there. I can't tell if this has got any plastic on it, but yeah, I had to put on a special mount for that. And this is the one that came with it. I'll probably just stick that on the old one, in case I resell it, or, well, I'm going to need that on there anyways if I want to fit a normal AMD cooler. So, I don't know if I showed you, but here is the fan that was on the cooler. Definitely going to need a little bit of cleaning. Yeah, I definitely need to sort out a way of not letting so much dust into the thing. I haven't cleaned the cooler itself yet, but, you know, making progress. I'm tempted to just give the case a little bit of a wipe down. I've got these wipes here which I use to wipe my cat's arseholes. And you know, I used that to clean a little bit of the front of this one. If you just have a look, you can see that it's nice and clean. Well, for the most part. But yeah, now I'm just about to fit the RAM, or 64 gigabytes, which will allow me to edit videos very efficiently with multiple software open at the same time. So it's very, very useful. I can also use it for playing Minecraft while having about maybe 2 Chrome tabs open. Maybe one of them with YouTube open, but on a low resolution. But yeah, oh, and here's the graphics card. I don't know if I mentioned this yet. It's a 4070 Super. Really nice, very power efficient graphics card. I'm a big fan of it. I prefer it to most other graphics cards at the moment. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm hoping this one will last me a while, but like I said, I don't know if I did say, but I am planning on using this setup for about 5 years, half a decade, but if anything is going to get upgraded, it'll probably be the graphics card. In a bit, because you know how fast those progress, but you know, the CPU will do me for 5 years, I'm certain. You know, this is the 5800 X3D, an absolutely crazy CPU. I love it. It is, come on, focus. I don't know if it wants to focus. Oh, no, it doesn't want to. But yeah, this 5800 X3D, brilliant CPU, love it, very versatile. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing my things. Get the front fan into the case. It mounts onto this part, and I'm actually quite interested in how this mounts, because I've never used these special Noctua mounts before for the case fans. But oh no, that's my SSD. Right, let's just put that over there. So I'll just stick that on there. If we have a look in here in this little box, you'll see we have these little rubber things, and I've never used these before, but I did have a look in the manual and they look very interesting. I'm quite excited to see how these work. It might be quite cool, and it's definitely going to be a lot better than screwing them in, because I hate doing that. That's one of the things I hate the most. And I took the hard drive out, and I believe you saw a clip of me taking out the hard drive caddy. There it is. But yeah. Just 2 drive slots now, and extra airflow for the fans. Whoosh. Right, so I'm gonna do a few more things, get a few more things cleaned, and then I'll cut to whatever progress I've made in like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour, who knows. Alright, this is literally like 2 minutes after I last cut, but I wasn't expecting to cut this soon, but you know, whatever. So I've moved the disk drive down here a little bit, just so that I can get these SATA cables, SATA power cables to reach it, while also reaching whatever hard drives I have down here. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out in case you get confused later. So I've got the fan on top of the case right now, and I'm going to try and pull this thing through. So let's see. Let's find the hole. Okay, bit of a problem here. The screw hole is actually too small. Yeah, if you look at this. So this right here is the screw hole for the fan, and if I try and shove the rubber through it, you can see it doesn't go through because it's too big. In fact, it probably better to show you from the top. As you can see, it just won't go through there. So yeah, there's not much we can do about that. We'll just have to use the normal mounting method. Yeah, that's disappointing. That. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed, but whatever. We'll just make do with the screws. Damn, what a shame. Hopefully we'll be able to use it on the back fan. I don't think that'll be much of a problem, because if you look down there, you can see that the screw holes are quite a lot bigger. We can probably fit this through. Yes, we can. So yeah, that's a shame. But you know, that's one of the many problems with 200mm fans, is that they just the support for them is just all over the place, and that's kind of why they are phased out now. They were always a complete nightmare, and issues like this are a dime a dozen. I think it's a good term for it. But yeah, whatever. We'll just make do. We'll just make do. Okay, so the fan is fully mounted, and it's in there. It's lovely. So that will work, and it should be blowing air this way. Let's just check. Yes, it's blowing air into the case. Lovely, so we're using screws, of course, which is a shame, but whatever, it shouldn't be a big problem. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure if this cable will reach, but luckily Noctua They include a extension cable, which is very nice of them. But you know, that's expected with Noctua. They're really good about this kind of stuff, so I highly recommend them. Highly recommend them. So the fan is going in, never to be seen again. It might be a bit of a squeeze. Well, that's fine. Lever is there. Oh, that's gone. Well, alright, this might not be going in perfectly, but we can do it. There we go. Okay. I don't think we're going to get much better than that. You know, like I said before, these fans aren't very well supported by anything, so we're going to have a little bit of a gap here, but it's a tiny gap. It's not a massive deal. Oh, actually, hold on. I don't know if that will fix it. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it is on. It is on at the top at least. It just comes off a little bit at the bottom, but it's fine. I could probably just tape over it, and that will do. So yep, that's the 200mm fan in. Pain in the arse, but it's worth it because now we've got a much better fan in the front and it'll be a lot quieter. Okay, so finally got the motherboard in. You may notice a little bit of thermal paste on the corner of the CPU there. It's fine, whatever. So we're going to be putting in this RAM now. I just need to make sure the serial numbers match up. There we go. 64 gigabytes. And now I'm just going to plug everything in, get the graphics card in. I've also got to clean the CPU cooler. I still haven't done that, and I haven't cleaned this fan yet either, so I'll get on that and I'll see you in a bit. Probably be mostly assembled by the time I do my next cut. See you soon. I nearly forgot once again the fan. So we're going to put this fan in here. The cable is actually very convenient. It's already bent in a way that I can run it over here, and then I can use an extension cable to run it to the fan connector. So yeah, let's get started with this. So we will put the these things on here like that, and then it will go in through here, I assume, like that. And then you take this and then you just pull it. Might need like some tweezers or something. Might be able to get away with it. I can't tell if that's in. I don't think it is. Let me just try and find something I can use to pull that in. Yeah, perfect. I've got some tweezers. So if we grab this and then pull on it really hard, that should hopefully, there we go. That is in there now. Yep, that is perfectly in there. So yeah, you do have to pull very hard, but that is in, which is brilliant. So I'll do that for all four of them. Do the other one in the corner just to make it a little bit easier for myself. Oh no, damn it. A bit of it has fallen off. Well, that is annoying. Yeah, we may have to resort to just screwing these in actually. That is a shame. Okay, whatever, we'll screw them in. We'll use the screws that came with the fan. That's a shame because I was really excited to use these rubber things, but it just doesn't seem to be very compatible with this case. So not much I can do about that. We'll just have to install it the traditional way. So the camera ran out of battery right as I was doing that, but they're all in with screws now, and that went in a lot easier. So yeah, it's a shame that I had to use screws. I was very excited to use that new feature, as you could tell from earlier in the video, but whatever. That's in there now, and so is the front fan. It is a shame that we couldn't get this on perfectly, but whatever. We got a Noctua in there now, so who am I to complain? So now what we need to do is plug everything in, I suppose, and then get the cooler on and all of the cards, which will be a pain in the arse. So I'll see you soon. So the CPU power has an extra 4 pins in here. I'm not going to bother plugging those in because I don't have a cable, but I don't think I need it. I'm not using like a crazy high power CPU, and I'm not overclocking, so it's not a problem. Just leave that as it is. I believe you can do that, but we'll see later in the video. So if you're looking to verify that, we'll see. So the way that SSDs go in this thing is actually really cool. I really like it. So it's literally just like a latch that you close, like that, depending on the size of the SSD. Sorry, I messed it up a little bit there, but there we go. It just closes in like that. That's really cool. I really like that. Yeah, that's awesome. And obviously it's got a big piece of metal that goes on it, which is cool. And it's got a little thermal pad or something on here. I don't really know, but yeah, that's cool. I'll be putting my second SSD in the other SSD slot. That's my 2TB, but I mostly use that for games, so I don't really need the speed. Sorry, my other one is the 1TB, not the 2TB. That is the 2TB that I've just put in. Okay, so it's dodginess time. I've got the PCIe riser on here. I'm kind of having to maneuver around this case fan. I didn't realise there was another header down there, but I can't really be bothered fixing that now, so I'm just going to run it around like this. And yeah, so I'm going to put the capture card in this vertical slot here, which I didn't actually know I had until recently, and I'm going to connect it to this, so we'll see. So you can see right there, we've got it in there. A few of the pins are hanging out the side, but that's fine, that's the intention. So let's get this in here. There we go. It's a little bit dodgy, but you know, it'll do. Yeah, this is the alternative to something much more dodgy, which is slicing the end of the PCIe slot off, and I don't want to do that because that's just mean. So it uses a thumb screw, but it's very hard to tighten, so I use a screwdriver for it. So there we go. My dodginess is on full display now. It'll probably be noticeable through the side panel how dodgy this is. Can we get this in a bit further? It's these pins that are in the way. I don't know if that's... Yeah, that's probably fine. Probably fine, yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, the 4K 60 Pro right there. We've got the Elgato HD 60 Pro down there, blocking the graphics card. In fact, you know what? We could actually swap these around. That might be a better idea, but again, I guess the fan is big enough on that thing. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. So yeah, that's it. I believe that is almost everything done for this computer. I don't think there's anything else that I need to do to it. I decided not to put a hard drive in here. I thought I may as well just keep using it externally because I don't need high speeds on it and it's not that big of a deal. I can just use Thunderbolt to connect it if I need it permanently. So yeah, I need to play around with the cables a little bit, get them a little bit nicer. And yeah, I'll be back when it's all up and running. I assume this is going to work first try, but you never know. It's always scary, isn't it? So it's all together now. As you can see, the dodginess really is on display, but yes, there we go, that's all in there. Very, very nice. Yeah, I'm excited to boot this up and finally get back to what I was doing, playing Minecraft. So the moment is finally here. I'm going to turn it on. Oh, it's been a lot of work, so let's get on. Oh, barely any noise. I can hear a bit. Alright, turned off. Back on again. Let's have a look at the monitors. Is anything going to turn on? See a little light flashing in there. Oh, the Stream Deck's on. And the fans have slowed down. One of the monitors has come on. There's my speaker. And there we go. Let's enter the BIOS. Because I would actually like to explore the BIOS a little bit. We detect a new processor which turns alright, just press Y. Not a big deal. Let's lower the desk. I raised it because I was unplugging cables. Oh, okay. Come on, desk. I'm sorry about the mess. We've got this hard drive here as well. I'm just going to put that down on this soft surface. Oh, let's get in the BIOS. So, I'll clean up all this mess before I let the kittens back in here. But I just want to check all of this stuff. So I'm glad that it's all worked first try. I mean, I have been doing this for a very long time, so It's not that surprising, but you know. So yeah, I like the sound that the fans make. BIOS, please. American, no new CPU installed. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna have to do quite a bit of configuring, I think. Okay, so here we go. Yes, so we've got both of my SSDs in there, very nice. I think it's reading my SD card already, which is great. It's got the RAM, which is running at 2666, but we can change that. We've got the 5800 X3D, very, very nice. So yeah, I don't know why BIOS always does this, where it changes the RAM to a certain speed. That isn't what I want, so let's see, advanced. I've never used this BIOS before. I actually had an Asus motherboard. That was my first ever motherboard, the Asus Z87A. Very, very nice. It was a lovely motherboard. Alright, DRAM, memory frequency. 3600, please. What's the maximum that it shows? Okay. Alright. Can you actually get DDR4 that goes to 8000 megahertz? I refuse to believe it. Okay, I do want to check also the bifurcation settings, because that's how I plan on using my NVMe SSDs that I'm going to buy in the future. This one runs at Gen 3. Alright, I was wondering actually, because the third X16 slot, I was wondering if that was PCIe 4 or 3, but obviously it is PCIe 3, which would make sense because all 20 PCI lanes go to the X16 slot and the NVMe slot, only leaving 4 for the chipset. Yeah, we can run these all at Gen 3. Nothing is below Gen 3, which is great. So we can set that to that. The M2 to 4X to 2X switch. If we set that to 2X, both of my capture cards will now function, but I imagine it would do that by normal. Up to 2 SSDs installed onto the Hyper M2 X16 card can be detected. Okay, so I know the Hyper M2 card. Yeah, that is a card that requires bifurcation, and it has 4 slots for SSDs, but it can only do 2 of them, which is a shame. And 4 SSDs can be used with the Hyper M2 if you use it in the first slot, because obviously the second X16 slot is actually X8 in terms of pins. That's a shame. That is a shame. It would be nice if I could change it to 2X, 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 to run 4 SSDs at 2 gigabytes per second, but whatever. In fact, no, that would be 4 gigabytes per second, wouldn't it? It'd be 4 gigabytes per second. Either way, I guess I'll upgrade to 2 SSDs using that Hyper M2. You can get them relatively cheap, even though they're actually ridiculously expensive brand new. No, do not quit without saving. I guess that's it. that's the entire video. We got everything working in here. If anything is broken, I'll probably continue the video, but if not, we'll end it here. This was a fun little upgrade that I've done. Well, it wasn't a little upgrade, it was a big upgrade, which resulted in basically no extra performance. But here we go, there we go, we've got the Asus in such an incredible flash screen, which is nice. That exact same screen is on my laptop, because I have an Asus laptop. So yeah, lovely, we're booting. And the SSD is running on PCIe Gen 4 now, so in a way I do actually get extra performance out of that, because we were topping at, I think, 4 gigabytes or something before. But now it should be able to get to maximum speed. So yeah, I'm just going to go through all the setup, I'm going to clean up. My kittens are probably sick of waiting in there. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.